afternoon, everybody. Age and ailment reversal fascinates everybody worldwide, and people think whether it is possible. But to a great extent, it is. Okay? I'm the perfect living example of the same. I'll be 63 this August. But my physiology, my biology is that of 36. My anatomy is that of 36. So it is possible to a great extent. And you know why? Because the old adage, the old paradigm was, blame it on the genes. That hereditary genes. But the new paradigm validates the Vedic wisdom, which says that only 5% of your genes are deterministic. 95% of your genes are indeterministic. You can be the master of the playground of the 95% of genes to play with and change the landscape and the fabric of your health and wellness of your being. You could be born with X, but you can change it all. So it is said that we are all born with predetermined genetic disposition, which can be altered with conscious intervention of life sciences. So breath work, creative curative nutrition, optimal movement therapy, rest, recreation, repair, rejuvenation, observing silence, meditation for long hours, long minutes, then going into long hours, laughing, singing, screaming, dancing. Everything helps you heal, become whole again. Breath as medicine. So when people ask me, what do you eat for breakfast? I say, I eat breath for breakfast. I soak myself in the sun, I take air bath, and I feed on optimism, feed on faith. Because faith can move mountains, that's very biblical. But Dr. Bruce Lipton, today a Nobel laureate, says and validates the biology of belief. He wrote a book called The Biology of Belief. You think what you are, or what you think you become, rather. So your belief can change your biology, is said by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Dr. Mehta says your faith can change your physiology, your breath can change your hormonology, meditation and prayers can change your emotions and psychology. So basically you can be the master of your own destiny. You know why? Because you could walk towards your destiny with your two legs. So you have two legs to walk towards your destiny. You have two hands to make it, mind to perceive it, a heart to believe it, and a spirit to achieve it. So you can be co-creator of the destiny of your health. Death and disease cannot determine your destiny. And destiny is always dynamic and fluid. It is not fixed. Why dynamic and fluid? Because we are human beings. Instinctive we were when we were animals. Conscious we become when we become human beings. So only human consciousness has the potential to rise above gods or fall below animals. Krishna, Christ, Muhammad, Mahadev, Zarathustra, Buddha, Sita, Lakshmi, Saraswati, all human beings. They nurtured and blossomed and became gods. What stops you and me? So the biology of belief, science says your faith can change your physiology, your thought can change your biology, intent. Prayers, meditation can change your hormonology, psychology, everything. Now, if this is an established, validated science of 10,000 years old from Vedic wisdom, why do we die? So, death is nothing but the culmination of your diseases, and diseases are the culmination of your choices. So, death has no right on life. Death is the culmination of diseases, and the diseases are the culmination of your choices. You choose intelligently, sensibly, and live. 99% of the human beings, you will be surprised, are not living every day, but they are dying every day. There is a science of cellular aging and cellular replacement called apoptosis. That science says that every organ cells have different range and lifespan. Some 3 days, some 4 days, some 8 days. From the time your cell dies to the time your cell births again, if there is no lag, there is no aging. Aging is nothing but the lag of the rebirth of the cell If this lag keeps increasing, that's aging. So aging causes disorder, or rather the lag causes the disorder. Dis is degeneration, degeneration, and death. And that is of nature. So physics calls it entropy, the universal tendency of orderliness breaking into disorderliness. So what are the forces of entropy? Time, matter, space, light, motion, mass, causation, effect. And how do we counter time, matter, space, light, motion, mass, causation, effect? We counter it by the Ashtanga of yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. We don't have enough time to get into each limb. But this translates into, as per Vedic wisdom in Sanskrit, Rasa, Rakta, Mausha, Meda, Ashti, Maja, Shukra, which means Rasayan, your biochemistry, your blood, your tissues, your muscle, your bones, your adipose, your fat, your brain function, your creativity. Now, once again, modern sciences of epigenome, epigenetics, neuroplasticity validates everything Vedas has been saying, that you can change the expression of your genes with conscious behavior. It takes exactly 96 days after a new behavior for your gene to express in a different way, but in a minuscule way, from 96 hours. So the science says it takes 7 days for your stomach lining to change for new, 30 days for your skin to change for new, 90 days for your musculoskeletal structure to change for new, and 1 whole year for your whole atomic being to change for new. Collagen cartilage take maybe 3 months, 6 months more. And if this science of renewal says this, we can keep renewing ourselves. We never grow old. When we stop growing, we become old. So why do we stop growing? So I reiterate again, disease and death shouldn't be your destiny. We were a speck of chemical on the rim of a volcano detected after the Big Bang, which scientists call it probably chemolitho-autotropic hyperthermophile. From that point, today, 14.8 billion years ago, we've become thinking, creating, crying, laughing, emotional, strategizing, analyzing, irritating human beings. And what makes us different from the others, from the animal kingdom, very accidentally, somebody from 4 came on 2. And when the spine became straight, the left and the right brain started working together. And thinking happened. Consciousness happened. And I will again reiterate that human consciousness can make you rise above gods or fall below animals. We are capable of doing miracles and magic with our own beings. Breath is very fundamental to human life. And you'll be surprised that why did Britishers have a system of timetable of periods every 40-45 minutes? They took it from the yogic practice of the nostril switching from left to right and right to left every 40-45 minutes. So when the sun goes up, so does the serotonin in your body. And when the sun goes down and the moon goes up, so does the melatonin in your body. So with sunrise, you get serotonin. With moonrise, you get melatonin. Literally, sun never rises, nor does the moon. It's just we who keep going around it. Sun is there and so is the moon, and it's just we, because we move. Our perceptions makes us feel so. But nevertheless, our circadian rhythm, our biological rhythm, biological clocks are synchronized with the cosmos. If you sleep in the right hour, if you eat in the right time, if you have creative and curative nutrition, cosmic nutrition also, then of course you're constantly cellularly regenerating yourself. And as I would say, that I truly at 63 almost in August I will be, I truly feel not just 36 but much lesser than that. Much lesser than that. So human capabilities are unbounded. By the way, we've been fixing cancers, asthmas, diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's to some degree. Recently we've got 3 people out of ICUs, 2 from ventilators, and 2 almost dead. I have a team of 10-12 people which attends to families. We have a bespoke team, and I have teams in 12 cities in India. And of course, they are mobile teams. They move around in different cities also. We work with super challenging ailments and terminally ill people. That's one part of the business. We also do a lot of mental and emotional wellness. We also do chronic and morbid obesity, 94%.
The question is, with this lifestyle, for how long do you think are you going to live? For how many years?
So, human beings, literally, our biomechanical age of the heart is almost 300 years. If we were to refer to Mahabharata and Ramayana, people lived for 200 plus years very comfortably. There was something in Vedic wisdom called Ichha Mrityu and Ichha Jivan, which Jains practice a lot in terms of Santhara. So typically, when 12 solar cycles you finish, so each solar cycle is 7 cycles. Solar cycles, you become 84. Literally after 84, Jains give up their life in submissiveness and surrender to nature, because they believe that they are utilizing the oxygen unnecessarily and polluting the earth with their carbon dioxide unnecessarily, because their life is useless. So they surrender, they stop eating, they stop drinking, week after week, couple of weeks. And over 6 to 8 weeks, they become masters of their own life, so that they can let go of their own breath without dying to disease. Of course, it's a perspective, it's a religion, it's a science. It works for them, and I've helped 12 people across the globe get Sandhara. People can live forever, so there are yogis who can live without water. Have you heard about breatharians? In many communities across the world, especially South America, breatharian. So people who can live only on breath and solar energy. They've refined their physiology and biology to an extent that no more they would need food and water. So no metabolism happens in terms of matter. So they go beyond matter and they live in the quantum space or the quantum domain. The quantum domain is the domain of emptiness, ether, the space, the akasha, the immeasurable potential of all that was, is and will be, is the domain of akasha. The domain is a scaffolding which holds the whole cosmos together, is responsible for the inflammation of the cosmos. It is responsible for seeding and manifesting, and in that domain there is no cause and effect. Quantum fields, there are no causes, there are no effects, there is retrograde causality. An effect can be independent of the cause. This is what happens when you pray, when you meditate. But meditation is the ultimate practice of spirituality. Ultimate. When you are free of every other element in which Akasha is present, and Akasha, that emptiness, is the domain of everything birthed today, tomorrow and in the past. From which it comes to which it will go, the immeasurable potential of all that was, is and will be. And in Vedic Shastras we call it the Shunyam quotient. That was my first book 15 years ago. The Shunyam quotient, the emptiness. Not that which is empty. That which has the quality of being empty and becoming everything thereafter. Because if there is something, that something will get over someday. Anything that can be defined has a beginning and has an end. Gods cannot be defined thus. Because if you define a God, even if you name a God, you're putting a definition to it. So, if you see literal Upanishads, Ishwar is Anam. ईश्वर का कोई नाम नहीं होता, वो अनाम होता है. जिसका नाम होता है, उसकी शुरुआत होती है, उसका एक अंत होता है. जो अनंत है, उसका नाम नहीं होता, वो अनाम होता है. The whole Western madness of mindfulness is the biggest sham. It has to be mindlessness. In meditation, you are letting go and emptying your mind and minding the empty space. Because if your mind is full, it is filled with the clutter of nonsense of five senses. But when your five senses become one in meditation, it's common sense. So empty the mind the empty space, and empty the mind of the clutter, and let it get illuminated and filled with the light of awareness. Because awareness brings to fore what your current condition is. Awareness makes you responsible, accountable for your current condition. Awareness makes you self-realize with introspection and retrospection why this has happened to you. And awareness shows you a way forward. In awareness, there is no repentance and no regret. In awareness, there is only repair, restore and rejuvenate. Any questions?
Nikki, where do you stand in this whole argument of allopathy versus alternative medicine?
Okay.
So you find people who practice allopathy who say homeopathy is all hogwash, it's placebo. There are Ayurvedic and Unani medicine experts who turn around and say this is ancient wisdom, what modern science and medicine is doing is hogwash. So which way are you inclined? Allopathy or alternative medicine? Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathy versus allopathy medicine?
Okay. Once again, to define any stream limits it. But typically, the system of Ayurveda and yoga put together, they become a very complete system of science. It's very unfortunate that our medical science is built on the premise of the Newtonian physics. That look into the matter which is solid and frozen. But Vedic science sees everything as consciousness. Now modern scientists begin to validate that diseases are seeded in your subconscious. The manifestation happens in physicality. So your Prakriti, your constitution is the reason for your disease. It is actually this state of disease. So Prakriti comes out of our seven sins: pride, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, avarice, sloth, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, maya, matsara. To counter that, we get into 8 limbs of yoga: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyan, dharana, samadhi, which also neutralizes your 5 strong negative characteristics of your personality, which emanate or birth out of your 7 sins, which are called your kleshas. So, ignorance, avidya, multiple identities, asmita, raga, attachment and desires, dvesha, repulsions and aversions, and abhinivesha, which means our fear of impermanence. So, medicine deals with matter, but Ayurveda, which takes care of all the elements, deals with your innate intrinsic personality. Which is why when you go to an Ayurveda doctor, he will do a Dashavidhi Pariksha. So he will see your nadi. He will see your strength. He will check the consistency of your urine, your defecation, your feces. He will see your stenches. How much do you smell from within? He will come to know that, okay, MRI hasn't picked this up, CT scan hasn't picked this up, pathology, but he'll tell you that there are 10, 15, 20 things wrong with you. And these are the ways we can fix it. So obviously Ayurveda prevails. It's very unfortunate that in India, we are going after Baba Ramdev. He is perfectly fine. He's done his mistake in arrogance, but he is well intended and he's very thorough in his knowledge. In America, Dr. Bruce Lipton says, your belief can change your biology. Validate it. It is validated because where your attention goes, energy flows. Remember, where your attention goes, energy flows, which is why we call it mind over matter. You put attention in the field, you energize it. You put intention in the field, you transform it. So this is your spiritual power of a human being. So coming to the point, medical science is based on the Newtonian physics. Ayurveda is based on quantum physics. Our Rishi Munis thousands of years ago said Bhugol hai. Earth is round. There was no math. There were no tools. Our Rishi Munis said Jagat hai. Jag jiski gati hai. Nobody knew that the earth is spinning on its own axis. Only Bharatiya Rishi Munis said that we are heliocentric. So I always say, modern medical science is magical, Mother Nature is miraculous. Modern medical science is milk, Mother Nature is the cream, and Mother Nature is always supreme. So, modern medical science has its own limitations. In 1940, they had laws made because Rockefeller controlled the world lobby of pharma and the studies of science. They systematically destroyed India, and to destroy India, they had to destroy our mindsets on yoga, our mindsets on astrology, our mindsets on Ayurveda. And they systematically dismantled our intelligentsia. So, yoga became PT. Kama Sutra became pornography. Harsh truth. Human longevity can be elongated to any extent as long as you're putting in the right inputs. As long as. Okay?
Now, those articles that have been coming around about intermittent fasting, I wanted to hear your views on it.
Okay.
As someone who didn't believe it would work, it really did. And I felt good, I felt energized. People said that, you
Did you get Mickey Moused?
I got Mickey Mouse.
Thank you. Okay. So intermittent fasting once again is nothing but ancient wisdom tradition. Eating once a day. In Jains they do something called Chovyar before sunset. Before sunset. Because the digestive capabilities are at the crescendo and zenith only before in the afternoon 10 to 2. That is in the Pitta Kal. But then it begins to deplete. Yet until 5:36 if you eat, you're good. So if the choice is one meal a day, it should be lunch. That is the golden hour of digestion. Even if you eat Amavish, you can digest it, which means Amavish is nothing but poison. It will become Amruta. That is elixir of life. Now, this has to be supervised. Everybody cannot do it. All ailment people cannot do it. One very, very, very highly popular renowned nutritionist of Bombay has lost many cancer patients because he gave intermittent fasting to them. And he came under fire from the medical fraternity, not openly, but things went wrong. So you can't do it indiscriminately. You have to see the condition, the vitality, the lung power, the heart conditioning, the power to digest. Whether the person is resting well, whether the person has high energy levels, whether the person is not depressed and down with mental and emotional unrest, then you can't do autophagy. Autophagy is nothing but a science where you allow time and space to digest everything which is in your being first, not overburdening your system, because 3 meals a day, 5 meals a day depletes you of energy, doesn't give you energy. And it makes you a gutter and a garbage can. So 1 to 2 meals a day are just perfect. That too, choice of food should be intelligent, sensible, intuitively, not instinctively, because instinctively we are animals, intuitively we are conscious human beings. So, once again, autophagy also serves the purpose of allowing your body go through a full cycle of a window of a 16-hour gap to deal with the entire elimination process of all your toxins and put it in the pathway. There's a very interesting knowledge of wisdom I will share with you. How many Vayus do you think? We all understand prana, that is energy, supreme divine energy. But pran is one general energy which functions and runs you. So there is pran vayu. Then the vayu which runs your heart is called vyan vayu. The vayu which runs your stomach, it's called saman vayu. The vayu which takes care of your elimination of toxins is called apan vayu. The vayu which takes care of your levitation of consciousness, which means once you are disconnected, once your kundalini is disconnected from fight, flight, food, fornicate. Fornication, you know what it is, right? Effing. So procreation. So once you're free from the compulsions of fight, flight, food and fornicate, your Udan Vayu begins to go up. That is self-realization. That is the time, whatever we call them, our subtle energy chakras, which runs through the meridian of Sushma Nadi. That is Ida Pingla Nadi, which are visible to the today apparatus. Then there is Sushma Nadi. Sushma Nadi is directly connected to the between the two brains, two hemispheres, which until the last 30 years ago, quantum physics hadn't caught the fluctuations. But in the last 25-30 years, the quantum physics has today identified fluctuation in microtubular even after until 96 hours of your brain dead, which is why there's an opportunity to bring a person back. In Hindu philosophy, there was a Chautha. Chautha, they used to keep the body the way it is for 96 hours because if there was an opportunity to revive the person through Marma Chikitsa, through Yagna Chikitsa and through meditation. Because Agas could bring down, make fire happen, rains happen. So Samved is all about ragas and healing. So when we look after terminally ill people, I have a therapist of Samved also, who sings and makes people sing and heals the different notes of the emotions and deep hidden psychological and emotional pain, not just of this life, but of lives lived from time immemorial. Because only then once the sanskaras, once the impression of all your lives which you carry within you, which we call it a gene pool, then they can be dealt with gradually. So please, no indiscriminate intermittent fasting. And of course, what is that called? Apple cider vinegar, fatty liver. So these are all fads. Don't fall into a trap of a fad. Health has to be Prakriti specific. Your constitution specific, your gender specific, your age specific, your occupation specific, your lifestyle specific, your mood specific, regional, seasonal specific. Your breath can become your medicine. The water hydration that you drink, you hold water in your hand, put intention into it and drink it, it will behave. Japanese people had to tell Indians that we found out it is validated. Indians were speaking for long that water has memory. Indians used to sing to their crops and we would have great crops. Bharat ka rehne wala hu, Bharat ki baat sunata hu. The wheat, when it got industrialized, it gave birth to gluten. Before that, it was known as the golden grain, which Indians lapped it up and had it for centuries together. But Indians knew that in winter we should eat bajra. In the cusp of the season, we should eat jawar. Nachni and dalia should be a part of our second breakfast. The first breakfast is ankurit, sprouts. Because everything that is seeds and sprouts has the highest life force. So, nutrition, food comes after 10, top 10. Number 1 nutrition is eat bread for breakfast. Soak yourself in the sun, second nutrition. Have air bath, 3. Be optimistic, number 4. Optimism is your fourth nutrition. Work out and nourish yourself, 5. Take regular massages, number 6. Give somebody loving hugs and have the limbic resonance activated, 7. Meditate, 8. Fragrance, 10. Audio, 11, 12. Then food nourishes you. So first let the cosmos nourish you, then food nourish you. Aghoris. Yeah. So aghoris they've severed themselves from the human life. They are completely uninhibited and liberated human beings. They don't care how they look, do, what people say, what they judge. When I spoke about 5 kleshas, avidya is a life of ignorance which everybody in this hall is leading, including me, but at different levels of life. Asmita are 20-30 identities that we carry. I am Mickey Mehta. I am the holistic health guru. I am Keki Mehta's son. My surname is Mehta. I have a daughter. I have a wife. I am the boss. I am the master. I am the brother. I am also a son. So there are 15 identities. Now every identity has a defense mechanism. you try to protect. That defense mechanism is your ego, ahankara. This ahankara is nothing but your stress, tanav. So we carry stress through our identities. Okay? Now these identities make you collapse within and get compromised in your immunity, because identities bring anger. So once again, pride, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, avarice, sloth, kam, krodh, lobh, moha, mad, maya, matsara. They are the products of your mind. Mind can only be present in the past or the future. Mind in here now is empty. When your mind is, you are not. When you are not, and when you are, your mind is not. When you are means you're conscious, you're aware. Then there is no mind working. Mind is working in scheming. Mind is working in strategizing, analyzing. And every time your mind works, your blood, your lung and your heart rhythm becomes erratic. In meditation, it comes back to rhythm. The head and heart coherence comes in place when you are empty in mind. So when you are not coherent, you are in the state of dis-ease. The state of dis-ease creates disorder. Disorder creates dysfunction. Dysfunction creates degeneration. Degeneration leads to disintegration. Disintegration leads to decay. Decay leads to death. So I will reiterate, death has no right on life. Death is the culmination of your diseases. Diseases are the culmination of your choices. Choose and don't lose. Health has got nothing to do with medicines. Health is also not just absence of disease. That's the lowest denomination of definition one could give of health. So I'll tell you the etymology of health from Latin is heal, thai, H-E-A-L-T-H. Heal them, H-E-L-T-H, and heal thou. Health is nothing but organic unity of your cellular community, which can give you absolute immunity. So if you have parents at home, get them activated again. Instead of dying every day, let's live every day.
What's the best way to deal with stress?
So, in my definition, stress is nothing but absence of creative imagination. You are creative about your life, stress is out, because you know how to deal with it. Now, everybody gets stressed. But there are levels and degrees. So with me too. And is a perception of that something may happen, or a perception, or I'm moving towards it, or something is coming towards me. Now in this perception, the mind gets fogged out. Can't see solutions. So the best way is stop, pause, and just breathe out. So in yogic techniques, there is anuloma, viloma. Anuloma is in, viloma is out. Focus on out. In happens naturally, but keep breathing out. 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, quietly. Literally, once you are empty, even your physical knots will ease up. Because here, if you're stressed, you get constricted, body gets into fight-flight mode, your stomach gets into fight-flight mode, switches from repair mode to fight-flight mode. And if in the fight-flight mode you're there for a long time, there is acid increase, inflammation, cortisol release, stress hormones. But release, breathing it out, gives you perspectives and perceptions and ability to cope. Suddenly there is a nitric oxide release in your body, and that literally takes your confidence up. That literally brings your attention to fore. And that literally makes you think, okay, I can deal with it. Now there are other ways of dealing with it with elements. Open up your doors and windows, go very close to air, trees, sky, sunlight. Or go to a basin and splash your eyes and completely water. So that's your, 10% aura bath. Once your aura is touched with water or air, your stress can be released. Or go to your refrigerator, have honey, jaggery, if not anything, chocolate will do. Because taste. So break the pattern of your thought process. Create a discontinuity of your perception through the perception of senses. So sound, touch, taste. So olfactory, audio, video, tactile, whatever. So that's the way to break the pattern of stress also and to get into the pattern of solution. So from samasya to samadhan, the journey is very short. If you cut it there, most importantly, get out of the environment. Just get out and if there is boiling anger, trust me, if you allow only 7 breaths, your perspective about the issue of the anger completely changes. There's a shift of paradigm. So, and then there are many. Then there are particular ways. So when we do mental and emotional wellness with people, we very much do the adaptability of the person's individual constitution and see the pain points, the kind of stress, and then relatively we give them solutions. So then when we deal with weaning of smoking, weaning of drinking, weaning of drugs. So there are different ways, different blokes, different strokes. But every state of dis-ease is reversible. Have you seen any animal walk backwards? Rarely. Have you? No. But humans can. So walk backwards. Simple. Retreat. The word retreat is meant to walk backwards. Stop, pause, work backwards. Recreate is recreate yourself. Recreate is nothing but recreate yourself. And you can recreate your whole cellular being, your whole atomic being as many times you want to. Determination is supreme. But the word sankalpa in Sanskrit is far superior to determination. Sankalpa is always purposeful determination. But English determination is only determination. Sankalpa is purposeful. And how does a sankalpa start? First, samarpan. Submissiveness with choice and grace. Not out of no choice. No, hands up. This is samarpan. With samarpan, you santulan. With samarpan and santulan, begins to support you because you become one with the universe. So there is samarthan. With samarthan, you become samarth, all capable. With samarth, you become all saksham, all potential. Once you become samarth and saksham, you get siddhis. Siddhi, which means you become the master. From siddhis, you create your universe, which means your shrishti. From shrishti, there is samruddhi, abundance. Remember, abundance is not in material, attitude. Every seed has a promise of 1,000,000 forests. You are the seed. So there is abundance should be in your attitude. If it is in your attitude, it's there. If it's not in your attitude, it's not there. Guilt. So, stigma is darker than black. Guilt, regret is heavier than earth. So don't regret, repair. We are all human beings. In flesh and blood it takes humans born to make mistakes. Because you're a human being, you will make your mistakes. Okay? Because we are constantly, getting attracted. We are constantly being pulled out from our center. So, we are living on the circumference. And till the time you're running on the circumference, you make mistakes. When you stop, you don't make mistakes. So, recourse is to stop. To break the pattern. इस स्वास्थ्य की एक परिभाषा है कि स्वास्थ्य में आस्था होती है. तो स्वास्थ्य में आस्था होती है तो आप स्वतंत्र बनते हो. स्वास्थ्य में अपने स्वतंत्र बनते हो. स्वतंत्र बनते हो तो स्वामी बनते हो. स्वामी बनते हो तो अंतर्यामी बनते हो. ऊर्ध्वगामी. A sculptor is in the state of being. Artist is in a state of being. Mind is becoming, thinking. In the state of being, you are in the flow. You are in sync, SYNC, because you are in sync, SINK, deep within yourself. So extraordinary are those who know there is something within them which is superior to circumstance. Never feel helpless. Or bolo? Should we? Maybe?
Yes.
So I hope you all are energized, maximized, optimized, naturalized, internalized, eternalized, revolutionized, evolutionized, humanized, immunized, regularized, revitalized. With DLC we are mesmerized. With Della we are hypnotized. And with Mehta we are all Mickey.